everyone. Happy Friday. Yay, it's Friday. Happy weekend. How's everyone doing? Welcome to My Baby Experts. We are here live again. I feel like I was just with you. This was only 2 days ago, but it's such an important topic. And you guys had just a couple of questions, just a few brief questions. I'm joking. So I wanted to make sure that after our amazing live stream on Wednesday night with Hannah from Love to Dream, which was awesome. If you missed it, make sure you go back and watch the replay. It was so good. That we had an opportunity to come back, as I promised, with a Q&A, a sleep Q&A, because you guys had questions on Monday, questions on Tuesday, and every other day since and always. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to get my very good friend, Rebecca Michi, here with us. She's leaving for a little while, so I said, we got to hurry up and do this and get her back in for a sleep Q&A before you go. So here we are. It is a special time of night for us. As you can see, it is starting to get dark behind me. I'm in New Jersey. It's 5 p.m. It's a strange time. We never do live streams at this time, but I kind of like it because I'm not so tired. So if you guys like it, let me have some hearts going across the screen. If you're ready for some sleep, don't fall asleep while we're talking about sleep, okay? But let's get some hearts going across the screen here and welcome everybody to the show. One quick question, one thing before I introduce Rebecca, who's sitting here next to me. I just want to introduce myself. We have a lot of new people on the page. We're hitting about 103,000 followers right now, which is amazing, amazing. And there's always somebody new in the chat room. So for all of you guys who are just meeting me for the first time, I'm Shari Criso. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a certified nurse midwife and an international board certified lactation consultant. I've been doing this for 27 years, not internet, but I've been taking care of moms and babies for over 27 years. And now I get to be with all of you, sometimes more than once in a week, sometimes every day, like this week. But here we are. And I just want to say hello to Rebecca, who's sitting here with me. Welcome back to the show, Rebecca. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
Oh, so good to see you. So good to see you. So Rebecca, everyone's jumping in. Is everybody excited for today? This was a topic, and it always is. Rebecca's been with us here many times over the past year, and we have some amazing stuff coming up for 2018. We were just talking before we went live about how we're going to work more together, because feeding, sleeping, it goes together. It's hand in hand. And most of the time when we answer questions, and literally I just finished a Q&A right before this in Rebecca's private academy, Sleep Academy, in her private group. We did a breastfeeding Q&A together. And, we said, anytime we only have to put makeup on one time and do two live streams, I'll go for that, for sure. Get ready once, do it twice. Yeah. Well, we just finished that Q&A, and it's like half the questions I can answer, half the questions she can answer, and sometimes it's within the same question. There's information that you need to know about both aspects, whether it's breastfeeding and sleeping. So that's why I love working with you, Rebecca. But that's not the only reason, but I do love it for that reason.
And it's a pleasure to work with you. It's always so fun coming and doing the Q&As.
So great, so great. So everybody's here, and we have a ton of questions to get to. And just before we start with the first one, I have to announce our sponsor for tonight and the prize, because we have an incredible prize for you guys, okay? And I know I've been posting about it over the last 24 hours. You have to make sure that you are registered to win, and someone here in the live chat is going to win this prize. That's one of the requirements today, is that you have to be here live. It's not that way for all of our giveaways, but tonight it is. If you are here through the live stream and you're commenting and you're posting, you will be eligible, as well as if you register. So our sponsor tonight is Naturepedic, one of my absolute favorite brands. I've been working with Naturepedic for years and absolutely love them. They make natural, organic mattresses for all ages, for infant through adult. Everyone can have a Naturepedic mattress, and they just make really great quality products. It's wonderful. And so today we're giving away. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's an ultra breathable 2-stage organic crib mattress, okay? This is like the best of their best for baby. The best of their best for baby. This is a $399 mattress, and it's worth every penny, because when we're talking about mattresses that are that have no chemicals in them, that are organic, that are waterproof, that have breathable covers, and I'm going to go over all the features of this incredible mattress because there are so many. I'll be going over them in just a short while. Yes, you love nature. Let's get some hearts for Naturepedic and this incredible prize, and for mostly for making such incredible products to keep babies healthy. Yes. So I'll be going over the prize very shortly and giving you some images so you can see all about it. And then I also want to make sure that everybody is registering. To register for the prize today, you need to go to Enter Me to Win. There it is, bit.ly, Enter Me to Win. And Joel, go ahead and post that in the stream for all of you. But don't go now, okay? Don't go now, because we've got some good information coming to you, all right? So Rebecca, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, because I just have a couple questions here for you.
Just one or two.
Just one or two. All right, let's start. So the first question came in from Alicia, okay? Alicia says, my 7-month-old will sometimes wake up every hour through the night. And if not, then it's every 2 to 3 hours. Any tips to get him to sleep longer? This mama is worn out because I don't have an option to sleep during the day because when he does, because I have a 2-year-old as well. So 7 months old, any advice to help?
Yeah, if he's waking up every hour, every 2 hours, then I imagine that he's being helped initially getting down to sleep at the very beginning part of the night. Because waking up is completely normal. All humans do it. We are never, ever striving to get a child sleeping through the night, because it's impossible to do. Humans wake between 2 and 6 times. What we want to do is we want to be as least involved as possible with our child, helping them get back down to sleep if they actually need any help getting back down to sleep at all. So the waking part is pretty normal. It's the getting back down to sleep part that's the problem, because that's when mom is then needing to step in and help. So if we can teach the child to be a little bit more independent when it comes to initially getting to sleep, now they'll be able to be independent when it comes to getting back to sleep when hunger isn't an issue. For a 7-month-old, hunger very well may be an issue, and it's quite normal for a 7-month-old to feed during the night. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that they need to feed every hour during the night. I don't think that your child is hungry every hour, unless they're not feeding at all during the day. But I'm quite sure that's not the case. Right. So with a 7-month-old, you can do some gentle sleep training. I am more of a fan of the gentle techniques rather than cried out techniques. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One of them is cried out does not work for everybody. It just doesn't, regardless of what you hear. And some people just don't want to do it. And that's completely fair enough. So there are plenty of gentle techniques that you can use where you can gently, you're encouraging your child to be a little bit more independent as you're teaching these skills. I wish I could say exactly what it is that you need to do this, but it is sort of a step-by-step process. Mm-hmm. But even if you just search online, gentle sleep training, it's going to come up with a lot of information.
Yeah. And while we're saying that, we also have another prize today that I failed to mention before, but I want to mention it because it's so important. And it's actually going to be so applicable to so many of you who left questions here that were long and detailed and had many, many requests for information. And I understand that when you're not sleeping, you need support. And so Rebecca is going to be giving away a prize as well. Could you explain to them what they'll also win? Someone else will also win.
So I am giving away a 3-month subscription to my Sleep Academy, which is where you'll find step-by-step instructions for gently sleep training, as well as 23 other bundles of in-depth information on all things sleep related.
So awesome. And and for everybody else who, if anybody doesn't win the prize, so someone's going to win a 3-month free subscription. Yep. And then what about everybody else?
So everyone else, I currently have a free trial for a free week trial at the Sleep Academy. I can post the link to that right now. Awesome. So let me do that. Let me post that link so that you can see. Here we go. You can just sign up. Obviously not now because you'll miss out on all the good stuff.
Yes.
But the link is there, so you can sign up for that week's free trial of the Sleep Academy. You get everything there is, all the bundles, all the resources. You get that first week of sleep trading, everything. And that's available to everybody.
So great. Thank you so much for offering that to everybody and for the amazing prize. To win that prize, again, it's the same thing. You're just going to register at the link we gave you. Make sure you're commenting here during the live event. We'll pick winners this weekend, okay? And if you have a very long question, we may not be getting to them, but that's a great place to go, is to the Sleep Academy to get those questions answered. I am going to ask a little bit of a longer question right now because this is someone I just met. She met me. She said, "Hi, we met at the Chicago Baby Show, and I've been following your page ever since. I love going to the shows, and Rebecca and I are there often together.
Yeah.
We get to meet you in person." So this is Jenna that we met. She said she's been following ever since. It's been so helpful. She has a 6-day-old newborn.
Oh.
So you're right. Can't you just feel it? Like when I read that, right? You're like, oh, 6 days. Okay. I'm just soaking in as much advice as I can get right now. Good for you. Get some sleep too. Every night has gotten a little easier for us, and taking it with little expectations at this point. But I do have a few questions. She may still have her days and nights mixed up. Yet, given she was so active in my womb between the hours of 10 and 3, this seems to be her alert cluster feeding times. During that time period, I lay her down in the bassinet. She fusses and won't sleep unless she's in my arms. Otherwise, she has slept in the bassinet for 1 to 2 hour stretches, and during the day, she's sleeping in the pack and play well for us. Side note, I ordered my love to dream swaddle last night after watching your video. So excited. Can't believe this is our little one is actually, can't believe it, but our little one is actually rolling on her side already at 6 days.
What?
So I'm hesitant to swaddle her with regular swaddles. Any advice for this? I thought we had plenty of time to worry about her rolling over, but I'm not sure it's too far away. Thanks in advance. So 6 days.
Okay, 6 days. Oh my gosh, you can just imagine the smell, can't you?
Right?
That awesome newborn smell.
Yes.
Goodness me. So 6 days, there's kind of, everything's kind of crazy. And well done for being able to type coherent sentences. That's very impressive. I'm not sure I was able to do that.
I definitely wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's very impressive. So the days and nights getting mixed up. There are no days and nights right now. Sleep is just sleep. Everything is a nap, unfortunately. And thank goodness this does not last. Excuse me. This does not last forever. This begins to change starts changing at around 6 weeks of age. And it's actually 6 weeks from due date, not from birth date. So this begins to start shifting where they start to develop their circadian rhythm, which is their awake-asleep cycle. And they begin to develop this. And then there's a very big shift at around 12 weeks of age when they go from newborn sleep, where everything is a nap, to actually then having nighttime sleep and daytime sleep. So the daytime sleep is managed by one area of the brain and the nighttime sleep is managed by a different area of the brain. So within this first 12 weeks, as I say, everything is just a nap. And it's really, really common for you to notice that your baby is awake when they were awake, when they were inside the womb. During the day, as you're busy and you're up and you're about, your baby will be sleeping because all that movement is lulling them to sleep. And then the second you're trying to sleep, they're not being lulled to sleep anymore because you're still, and that's when they're wide awake. And so, yes, there will still be sort of a bit of this habit forming, and you've got all those cluster feeds. And this is, unfortunately, the way it's going to be. And so, yes, it's trying to sort of, don't try and change it because there's nothing to change. And if you're trying to change something that's impossible to change, it just ends up being really frustrating, really, really frustrating. Yeah. And I'm not going to say either that you've got to try and enjoy this, because to be honest, I really did not enjoy the newborn stage. Those night feedings, I do not miss those one iota. I just do not. They were not my thing. They never were my thing. Nope, I don't miss those. So I'm not going to say you've got to try and enjoy it either. You've just kind of got to survive it. That's really what you've got to do. And so get rest when you can, and know that this is not going to always be this way. I would try swaddling. The Love to Dream, the arms up, is a perfect swaddle for this. Because the thing is as well that she's sleeping in that pack and play, she's sleeping in that bassinet where you're right there as well. You're going to be right there. If you see that she's actually rolling over in that, then she needs not to be swaddled. But I don't actually think that that's going to really be happening anytime soon, to be honest. So I think swaddling is a must for a newborn. White noise as well can be really, really helpful for a newborn. Trying to get a newborn to sleep in the quiet can be really, really hard to do.
And one of the things about the love to dream, we talked about it the other night, was the fact that because their arms are up in this position, it actually acts like it blocks them from rolling.
Yeah.
You know, versus rolling them, swaddling them with their arms down where they become just a long Tootsie Roll. They lean and they can roll. Kind of stops the rolling from happening. So I'm glad that you went ahead and got the Love to Dream, and I'm very anxious to hear how you do with it. We get so much good feedback about the amazing Love to Dream products, swaddle ups, and so it's perfect for right now, and it'll still allow her to wake and soothe and do all the things that she needs to do with her hands to her mouth and all those other things. We talked about this the other night. But you know, like Rebecca was saying, those nighttime or that newborn phase, I just want to say something about that. Like you said, you don't have to enjoy it. And the most important thing I think for a first-time mom, and I always say this to first-time moms, and if you're a first-time mom or if you're a second-time, third-time, fourth-time mom, you'll understand what I mean. When it's your first, it feels like it's always going to stay like that because you have no reference for where it goes. You know, with the first baby, you think it's always going to be this hard. It's always going to be this way. Even that whole first year when they're not sleeping, when you're feeding frequently, when you're going through those growth spurts and the cluster feeding and all the other things, you think it's just never going to get any better. And that's so untrue. And what I found with my second, and when I see second-time moms, they go through the exact same thing. So every baby, you're going through the same exact thing. But the difference is you have an experience from the last time to know that it doesn't stay like that. With the first-time mom, you just have to trust us. We're going to tell you, okay, this is what happens. And you just have to trust that what we're saying is true, that it does get better. And so, like you said, you just got to get through it. You just got to get through it. And that's okay. It doesn't have to look any certain way.
No.
You don't look any certain way. You don't have to feel any certain way. You just need to take care of yourself and know that it is just a stage that changes and they grow and then they eventually sleep through the night and then they're teenagers. And I'll tell you, that's even
I'm going to get them up in the morning.
Tell you that, okay? I'm not going to tell you. I keep telling myself, this is a stage.
Yeah.
And eventually they're going to grow up.
Oh,
like this. We're always first-time moms. We're forever first-time moms. Does that make sense? You know, it's like as they grow and they hit a new stage, you're first time all over again. So with your first child, you're always a first-time mom encountering the next thing.
Totally. Yeah.
All right. So maybe I could talk a little bit about the prize and then we'll move on to more questions. Let me do, and I'm going to bring up the prize here. Oh, there we go. Let's see. How do I do this so that it looks nice? There we go. Okay, good. So this is the Naturepedic Ultra Breathable 2-stage organic crib mattress. That's a mouthful, huh? And this is an amazing mattress. This is the prize for today. What it has with the 2-stage, what that means is that it has a firm side and a softer side. And that's because when the baby is a newborn, they need to sleep on, not just a newborn, but for many months, the first year, I would say, they need to be sleeping on a very firm mattress, okay? And that's important for safety. And so on one side of this mattress is nice and firm, that's for the baby stage. And then the second stage, which is toddler stage, is a softer, more quilted type of mattress, and that's going to make them more comfortable. And what's great about it is that you're investing in a good mattress, but it's going to last you for a long, long time. So this is your toddler mattress as well for a toddler bed. It's also breathable. So this is the ultra breathable means that there's actually a cover on this. So it's waterproof underneath. The core is waterproof. That means that nothing's getting inside the mattress. that it's not going to get urine or they're not going to get vom. Nothing's getting inside of it, so it's going to stay nice and clean. It's completely, you can wipe it down and know that it's clean. And then it also has this breathable cover on top of it that you can take off and wash. And it's also a really lightweight mattress, so it's easy to lift up, because you don't think about those things until you're actually using a mattress, a crib mattress, and they need to fit so snugly inside the crib. So you don't realize you've got to be able to pull those mattresses up. And that's what I love about this brand, is they're making them in a way that makes it easy for moms and dads to lift them up, to change a sheet, because you may have to do this more than once during a night. And this cover does come completely off. What's inside the mattress is just as special as what's on the outside. So what this mattress is completely organic, made with completely organic cottons and fabrics, and that don't have all the harsh chemicals that you see in regular mattresses, including all those flame retardants that do off gas, and your baby can breathe that in. And they're spending so much time in their crib, so much time sleeping in that first year and longer, all the time they're sleeping. They're sleeping half their life. So they're breathing in those chemicals. So this is a flame retardant mattress, but not made with the chemical flame retardants that you usually see. So it's just got everything going for it, and absolutely love it. It has all the combination of everything, the organic, the breathable, and the practical together. And that makes the best of crib mattresses. And it's really just a healthier, safer version of the crib mattresses, the conventional ones that are breathable design. So it's just a healthier, safer version of that. And it's really important to have healthy and safe. So this is the mattress, okay? This is the giveaway. And if you want to enter to win, you need to make sure that you are registered and you're commenting here. This is how you register right there, okay? And then I also have another link to give you, which will take you to Naturepedic so you can learn more about this amazing mattress. I really encourage you to do that. If you have a child, if you are expecting a child, if you already have a crib mattress, but you are thinking about, okay, what about moving forward? What about yourself? What about your child, your 4-year-old, your 5-year-old? They make them till adulthood. So they make adult mattresses, king size mattresses. So go learn more about organic mattresses. And I see everybody here in the chat room. They know their stuff, okay? They're talking about organic. They understand. You guys are so amazing. You're also amazing. Let's get some hearts for Naturepedic. Thank you for this wonderful prize, and thank you guys for participating. Okay, so awesome. Yay, thank you. All right, good. Let's move on to the next question here. The next question came in from Conchita. I love you, Conchita. Hi, honey. She says, I'm traveling for Thanksgiving. This is a good question.
Okay, I will answer it, but I did answer Conchita's question on the Q&A I did this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay, but we'll answer it again because that was private. Here. And I think it's important because with the holidays approaching, whether it's Thanksgiving and then the Christmas and Hanukkah, everything's coming up. People are going to do a lot of traveling in the next few months. So I'm traveling for Thanksgiving with my family and my 5-month-old baby. It will be a 12-hour trip, a 12-hour plus trip, and we'll be staying 4 nights and 4 days. Do you have any suggestions for a good sleep during the trip and when we arrive?
Okay, it's a great question because a lot of people are going to be traveling over the next couple of months. These are not little trips either. Driving for 12 plus hours is a very, 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 very long way. It really, really is. And so if you are going to be in the car for that sort of duration, just making sure you get plenty of stops and making sure that you're getting your child out of the car seat often. It is going to add a long time to your trip, but it's getting them, you don't want them being in that bucket seat, especially for 12 hours plus. Obviously, you've got to get them out to feed. Don't even think about feeding them when they're in the car seat. You want to stop and you want to be feeding them, stretching, all of these things, diaper changes, all of those. Now, it's going to be really hard to try and keep a sleep schedule when you're in the car for so long, or if you're flying or whatever you're doing, because chances are they're going to fall asleep whenever they want to fall asleep. If you've got the movement and the noise from the car, same with an airplane, it just can be enough for them to sort of go to sleep. So don't even worry about when you're traveling. when you get wherever you're going, you got to look at it. You're in the same time zone. How long are you going to be there for? If you're not going to be there for very long, you do not need to change their schedule whatsoever. And especially over this holiday with Thanksgiving, it's a time for relaxing. It's a time for having fun with your family. And so I really wouldn't worry too much about sleep. You can try and get keep your schedules and your routines the same as possible, but I wouldn't stress out about it. The main thing that you want to do is when you get home is work on getting back on track as quickly as you can. So, because it's fine that your child knows that they can do different things at different places, even from really young, that, we're going to be sleeping in a pack and play, or we're all in one room when we're at grandma's, whatever that's like. You just want to make sure that you're back to how things were before you traveled as soon as you get back home. Because if you're, again, sort of going for the pack and play when you get back home, whatever, in bed with you when you get back home, you're setting up that new expectation of what's going to be happening at home. So you want to get straight back on track. It shouldn't take you too long to get back to where you were before you went. If you're away for about a week, it should take you a night or two. If you're away for a couple of weeks, it should take you 3 or 4 nights. And then the longer you're away, the longer it will take you to get back on track when you get home.
Yep. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. That's great advice. Great advice. There is a question from April, and April's been posting this question all week, but there's multiple questions. So what I'm going to do is just read a portion of it.
Okay.
And then, Rebecca, you pick which question you want to answer. Okay. We're going to answer one because some of these are multiple questions. All right.
Okay.
April said, "Thank you so much for the event. I really need sleep advice. My sleep deprivation is worsening my postpartum depression."
Yeah.
That's common. Okay. So I have been following gentle parenting practices and I haven't wanted to sleep train, but I need to do something. My questions are the following. How do I put my toddler down in her crib awake? How do I transition her to her own room? How do I stop her from cluster feeding in the early morning hours? Is it normal for a toddler to wake up crying or screaming after an hour of falling asleep? Her toddler is 15 months old and sleeps in a pack and play in her room.
Okay, so I will sort of just answer a few sort of little tidbits here. One of them would be that a pack and play mattress is very uncomfortable. It is just a thin piece of foam on a board. So that potentially could be one of the reasons why she's waking so often, because she's just uncomfortable. And the heavier that she gets, the more uncomfortable she'll be on such a thin piece of foam. So getting a mattress to go in the pack and play, or maybe you've got a crib or a bed, whatever that is.
And you can put the crib right into your room. I mean, for a 15-month-old, I would, if they're going to be in the room, then I think a crib's important at that point. Like you said, comfort.
Yeah. So just making sure that she's comfortable, because honestly, if I'm super uncomfortable, I'm waking a million times a night as well. And I'm not in a good mood because I've been woken a million times a night. So just being comfortable can really, really make a difference. So you can bring a crib. If you've got a crib, you can buy mattresses that fit in pack and plays as well, that are completely fine. So just check that out first. And then I would just start with baby steps, because when you're looking at the issue that you have, which is with sleep, so that's beginning of the night, it's during the night, you've got all those cluster feeds during the night. You've got her in your room. You may want her to be in her own room. You may want to be in her own bed. When you're looking at it like this, it is completely overwhelming. It's completely overwhelming. And that can just be, it's just, you don't know what to do first. It's because you're thinking, I need to fix sleep. And there are so many different aspects. So just break it up into tiny little bits. So first off, making sure that she's comfortable, because she can sleep so differently when she's comfortable. She really, really can. Her night can be really, really different. And it may be she's not doing all these cluster feeds early in the morning if she's more comfortable. It may be that she feeds once or twice, and then you can lay her back down. So now then your whole night looks completely different, and you're catching up on a little bit of sleep, which may be the difference between I'm falling apart here because I'm so tired, and, oh, I managed to get like a 2-hour block there in the morning that I don't normally get. And then you feel like $1 million when you've got a 2-hour block of sleep and you're not used to it. So then it's reassessing where you are. Okay, do you want her to be going into falling asleep more independently? Okay, how are we going to do this? Am I going to work at this at the beginning of the night? Am I going to be working on this during the night? Am I just going to work on this for naps? And it's breaking everything up into little steps. And that's what we do in the Sleep Academy, is we break everything up into little steps and make it just manageable. So really do suggest that she to get that free week trial in the Sleep Academy, because there is going to be so much information there, and everything is step-by-step instructions.
Yeah, no, April's perfect for the Sleep Academy, and she has a lot of questions, like a lot of people do. But I think there's so many things here that you'll be able to answer, and so much content that she'll be able to get.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, next, let's get some hearts for some of these questions, and for Rebecca for answering all these questions. Let's get some hearts going across the screen. We usually do that. We always, give hearts after each question. I forgot to mention that. Joe, you forgot to remind me. All right, so let's get some hearts. And a sip.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This question's from Kathy. She says, my question, the granddaughter for whom we daycare and get to bed is 2.5 years of age. Will putting her into a regular bed disrupt her naps? Currently, she whines and frets for 5 minutes and then drops off. She's still in a crib at the moment.
Okay, so 2.5-year-olds are incredibly opinionated. As you know, if you've ever met a 2.5-year-old, you know how opinionated they can be. And you may be that you are able to reason with a 2.5-year-old. It may be that you're not, and that really completely depends on the child. Completely does. Personally, I would say let's stay in the crib for another 6 months. When you're getting nearer to 3 years old, then making that transition to a bed is so much easier to do when you're actually able to reason with the child, and their language skills are so much more advanced then that it's just an easier thing to do. So waiting until nearer 3, unless you need to. If you need to make that shift, that change, then 2.5 shouldn't be too bad. Now, what you need to do is, chances are she's going to keep getting out of bed simply because she can. And because she's 2.5-year-olds are very impulse driven. She's not there thinking about, oh, I could possibly get out of bed. This would be great. She's thinking freedom, and she's gone. Right. And what you need to do is to just take her back and leave. And you're going to repeat until you could be doing this for a really long time. Now, what you want to do is to just be super consistent, and you do not want to start doing anything you are not prepared to carry on for the long term. So instantly, you staying in the room and keeping your hand on her back may be what keeps her in her bed. Right. And then she's able to fall asleep. But unless you want to do that for every single nap time for the foreseeable future, do not start doing this, because it's not going to take too many times of that happening for that now to become your new normal. Mm-hmm. So it's better to sort of like rip that Band-Aid off than do it slowly and start another habit that you've then got to then end up breaking when it's not sustainable. Rip that Band-Aid off, go back in, take her back in. It could take hours. You may go days without her not going for a nap, but when she understands that no matter what, she is always going to be taken back to bed. I say this could take days, this could take hours, then it's not worth her getting up, because there's no point. She may do it a couple of times, and then as she gets really sleepy, then she's going to be able to go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, children love routines. That's the truth. And, routines are actually good for a child. And then you got to think about, what is the routine I'm starting? Because routines turn into habit, right?
Yeah.
But that's good. You want to keep repeating when it's a good habit. Like my child goes to sleep in her bed. That's a good habit. Yeah. So we want to create habits, which are AKA routines, and they're used to that, and they get that. That's what makes them feel safe and comfortable, and they know what's coming next. Children actually really like that. But whatever you teach them, like Rebecca said, whatever you're doing with them is going to start the new routine. And if it's something you don't want to continue to do, then you don't want to start that.
Yeah, because so often I hear from parents who need to be with their child whilst they fall asleep. Mm-hmm. And now how can I get away from this? Because whenever I do this, and it's maybe that it started off great because they were taking 5 minutes to fall asleep. Perfect. Anyone can do that. As they get older, they become experts in procrastination, and it's taking an hour, 2 hours for them to fall asleep.
Yep.
That's not sustainable any longer. You cannot be in the room waiting for them to fall asleep for an hour or two.
No, absolutely. There's also a really long question here from Vanessa. Okay, she's got a 2-year-old, an almost 26-month-old, and never been a good sleeper. We bed share. So she's giving us quite a bit of information here. Vanessa, I want to answer your question, except that there's so much detail to it. I really encourage you to go over to Rebecca's Sleep Academy and get some support from Rebecca. So I didn't want to just ignore it because I appreciate how much time you spent putting this information together, and it will be perfect for the Sleep Academy so that we have all the information is there. But I'm gonna actually refer you over there. Okay. The next question is from Ellen. Oh yes, let's give hearts. If you could see how long this is, you would appreciate. She really wants some help. So yeah, Rebecca, can you post the link again for the Sleep Academy?
Yeah, let me go and do it.
I'm going to post the link. And while I'm doing that, can you listen and post at the same time, or do you need me to?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very good at multitasking.
Next question came in from Ellen. Okay, Ellen asked, yeah, there's Vanessa. Okay, awesome. All right, Ellen asked the question, 6-month-old wakes around 2 to 3, almost every 2-3 times almost every night. Then again around, no, sorry. Her 6-month-old wakes around 2 to 3 a.m. Okay. Almost every night. Then again around 4 a.m., which is when I typically feed him, and he'll go back down. Is there a way I can get him to maybe make it to 5?
So I'd be interested in how she's helping him to sleep when he's the 2 or 3 a.m.
Right.
How he's getting back down to sleep.
Yeah. It's really hard. I'll just take a little crack at this too. It's really hard to, especially at 6 months, it's hard to stretch out the feedings. If children, all babies are different, and some of them do need to wake multiple times during the night to feed. You actually make the most amount of milk during the night. And so sometimes if the baby's waking during the night to eat, that means that they're hungry and they need to eat, especially at that age. That's not going to be the same answer as they continue to grow. Mm-hmm. 6 months and under, I wouldn't try to stretch out feedings at that point. I would try to make the feedings easier and faster. That's my advice, is don't try to wait it out or get in that, push it another hour. Try to get the feeding done quickly, be efficient with it. Make sure the baby's burping. Make sure the baby goes right back down. Don't turn on all the lights. Keep the baby, in a quiet space so that the baby eats, and they should be able to eat pretty quickly and go right back to sleep. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to stretch this out till 5 o'clock, unless you put the baby to breast at 2.
That's what I'm thinking. I would do that feed earlier, because it's actually easier for us all to get back to sleep before 4 a.m. After 4 a.m., none of us get into a deep sleep. We're getting ready to start the day. So that means if you're waking up at 4, your child's waking up at 4 or after 4, they've not been in a deep sleep, so they are more awake. They need more help getting back to sleep. But it also means that you have done exactly the same. You've not necessarily been in a deep sleep, and it's harder for you to get back to sleep. So actually doing a feed earlier in the night is going to be easier for your child to get back to sleep, and it's going to be easier for you to get to sleep. And I know that seems a little bit, well, I'm trying to give up a feed. Why am I doing it earlier? But actually that can make the world of difference, because as your child then gets older, feeds earlier in the night have a much easier time naturally being reduced down to nothing.
Yep.
Then the feed, if you're trying to push it the other way and you're trying to get later and later and later and get nearer and nearer to your morning time, that's when it's really hard. And your child is going to need a lot of help, because they're not going to be back in that deep sleep, and you may get pushing later. But what will probably happen is your day will get starting earlier and earlier and earlier. So actually doing it the opposite direction and feeding them earlier in the night can actually get everybody better sleep.
Yeah. And I'll even add to that if you're waking at 2 o'clock and you're not feeding, that's a time when you have a lot of milk. So you could probably even get till 6 a.m.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
So five may not even be that, you may even get longer. So if you're already waking, don't even question, should I feed the baby? If the baby's awake, the baby's hungry. Feed the baby, like Rebecca said, do it earlier, do it at 2, do it at 3, and then you may get all the way till 6.
Yeah. And I know that's not something you generally hear a sleep consultant say, yeah, just feed earlier. That's not something that you'll generally hear. As say, I do work a little bit different than other sleep consultants. It just, I think a little bit more practical and realistic, I like to think.
Well, you know what? That's what they need to hear. I mean, who doesn't need practical and realistic? And I'll say the same thing as from a lactation consultant perspective. There's the ideal, and then there's reality. And we need to live in reality so that we can get through this and try to enjoy some of it, right?
Yeah.
But what good is the advice if it's not going to be something you can apply to your life?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we need some hearts for that. Hearts for that, and hearts for Ellen. Good luck with that, Ellen. Hearts for Rebecca. Thank you. All right. You good to keep going for a little longer?
Oh, yeah, let's go.
We got more questions, all right? So the next question came in from Kevin. How many feeds does a 12-month-old need a night? She eats 3 meals a day, and when she nurses at night, it doesn't even feel like she's eating anything, more so just using me as comfort. I realize that might be a question for me.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and answer it. How about that? Okay. So this is a 12-month-old. She eats 3 meals a day. When she nurses at night, it doesn't even feel like she's eating anything, just more for. Yes, it's very possible that she's waking up just for comfort feeds. And so 2 things about that. One is that those are necessary too. So those comfort feeds still have a purpose. But it also could be, quite often I'll find moms say, well, she's not really eating because she's only on for like 2-3 minutes and then she stops. That could be an entire feeding. They actually are quite efficient, and they get more efficient as they get older. So just a few minutes at the breast is actually feeding her, and it may be helping her to get through the night. So when she's waking at that time and she eats for just a little while, it could be that she's really eating and needs to make up that extra time that she may be a little more active during the day. She's not spending as much time at the breast that she needs at night. So that's my answer for that. At 12 months old, I wouldn't even, would you have any ideas for her if it is just comfort and trying to get longer stretches, Rebecca, for a 12-month-old?
So what you can do, there's, you can work on reducing down the amount of minutes that you're nursing for. So if it doesn't seem like she's nursing very long, still doing that for a little bit and then just comforting other ways. So let's just say she's nursing for 10 minutes, then nurse for 8 minutes, unlatch her, and then just hold her for those extra 2 minutes. So what you're doing is you're just kind of helping transfer. You're still offering the comfort, but you're just helping her adjust the amount that she's getting in the stomach. Just suddenly stopping is not going to work. It's not going to work. She's going to wake up hungry, not going to work. So gradually kind of helping the stomach just adjust I think is the way to go. So just kind of reduce that down. And then 3 or 4 nights later, reduce down by another minute or 2.
Yeah.
And then that may change the other feeds during the night, but it could completely change your whole night.
And you may be able to do that. You may not. It's really hard. For the 12-month-olds, they're kind of controlling it. And that's actually perfectly normal too.
Yeah.
Comfort feeding is not, when people talk about their baby, using them as a pacifier, being the comfort, they're not really eating. There is more to breastfeeding than just eating. It's more than food. And so those feedings, those non-nutritive feedings, which we call them, are actually quite important for all kinds of things. So you don't want to completely cut those out. And that lasts for a long time. So
you're setting up good attachment with your child, which is going to really, really help you in the long run.
And even just a short feeding helps to maintain your supply, because breastfeeding is all about it's not just about how much you're getting out, but by emptying the breast frequently. So those frequent emptyings, so those little tiny nursings frequently, keep the breast getting the signal to make more milk, keep your supply up. So these are all important things in those little comfort feedings where they're always eating. When they're at the breast, there's always some milk coming.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Always, so sometimes they're snacks and sometimes they're meals, but they're all important for the child and also for your supply. So Good question, Kevin. Let's get a some hearts going across the screen there. Good question. These are great questions, aren't they?
Wow, really good.
Good questions. I'm so impressed with all of you. Amazing. You're all amazing. Okay. This came in from Nicole. I think I may answer this question too. She says, I got a question. How do I get my newborn to sleep through the night? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, Nicole. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just thinking you can't. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my answer, is that you can't. It is highly, highly unusual and uncommon for a newborn to sleep through the night. And actually, a newborn, I would encourage you to be waking that baby up. So if the baby's sleeping through the night, the baby shouldn't be sleeping through the night. The baby needs to wake up, I would say during the day, no more than 2 to 3 hours. During the night, no more than 3 to 4 hours, as long as they're gaining weight and they're hydrated and they're peeing and they're pooping. If it's less, if you're working on weight gain and you're working on your supply and you're working on the hydration, then it's every 2 hours.
Yep.
So there is no sleeping through the night. Go back to the beginning of the video when we talked about the newborn stage and how this passes. That's a better answer for you and a better discussion than we could ever have about teaching you how to get your baby to sleep through the night, your newborn. That ain't gonna happen. So there, okay? Hearts for Nicole and understanding what it's like to have a newborn baby. And even though I know that's the right answer, I get tired just thinking about it. So I have so much compassion for what you're all going through.
Yeah, it's really, as I say, I really dislike the newborn stage, so much so that when things started getting easier with my eldest, when she went through that big shift at 12 weeks, things started getting easier. She started sleeping some longer stretches. I said to my husband, if we're going to have any more kids, we've got to do it now.
Yeah.
It's now or never. And then I found out, we started trying then when Isabel was 3 months old. I found out I was pregnant the day before she turned 7 months old.
Wow.
And then Layla was a month early. So I have a 14-month age gap between my two.
Wow. And how old are our children? Are about the same age.
Yeah, 13 and 14.
13 and 14, and mine are 13 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're dealing with all kinds of other things.
Yes, very, very different now.
That we won't talk about today.
That's a whole other live stream that we probably shouldn't do.
You all have time for that. All right. Next question is from Olivia. Rebecca and I will discuss that when we hang up from the live stream.
Yeah, with a glass of wine.
With a glass of wine, we'll have a little live chat with each other, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so next is Olivia. Olivia said, how do I transition from a bassinet in our room to a crib in our toddler's room without too much disruption?
Okay, so you can just start with naps. So maybe start naps in the crib, in the toddler's room. You can even start the beginning part of the night in your toddler's room and then just come into the bassinet during the night. It is never, ever an all or nothing. You can just choose when you want to do this. I would start by having your child have some playtime in that space. If we want them to be comfortably sleeping there, they need to be comfortable with the space. So have playtime, some awake time within that crib so they know what it looks like, they know what it smells like. They're just really, really comfortable with it. Start small, one nap of the day, beginning of the night. And then you can just sort of increase the time as they get more and more comfortable with it.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, they're telling us, a glass of wine helps. Yes, Stephanie. Sometimes there's no other answer, is there?
Sometimes wine is the answer.
Wine is the answer. You're right. I think I need a t-shirt. Sometimes wine is the answer.
Yes.
So, Joe, you have to get me one of those. It's like, I need one of those.
Yeah, me, definitely, as well.
He said, sorry, I was getting a glass of wine.
You get one for me, Joe.
Oh, all right. This question came in from Nikki. Nikki says, I'm a new mom here. Our son is a month old and only naps well in my arms during the day. I'll pass him to my husband. He'll wake up within 5 minutes. If I put him down on the bed in his bassinet, which he won't sleep in at night either, or in the chair or swing, he'll fuss within a few minutes. looking for suggestions on when is at the appropriate age and where to start to build a healthy, independent sleep routine during the day as well as at the night.
Okay, so I would start by making sure that you got white noise. Definitely will help with sleep. Swaddling definitely is going to help with sleep, and making sure he's not getting too tired, overtired. Overtired children do the exact opposite that you would think. When I get overtired, I physically and mentally slow down. Children do the exact opposite. They can get kind of really frantic in their movements, and their brain is just kind of just going at 100 miles an hour, which is obviously going to make sleep really, really tricky. So you want to be making sure that you are not letting your child get overtired. They may only be able to be awake for an hour before going down for another nap. Yeah. But definite white noise, and definitely swaddling. All things that are going to help.
Awesome. Great. There's a question here from, let's get some hearts. Let's get some hearts. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Okay. This question came from Kelly. She says, I'm trying to wean my 15-month-old, and it's proving to be next to impossible. She wants nothing to do with cow's milk, and my body doesn't react to a pump, so she only has had one breast milk bottle in her life. She's only nursing before bedtime, and she usually wakes up between 1 and 3 to feed again. How do I get rid of these last 2 feedings without going to the cry it out method route?
So we can do the reducing down the amount of minutes that you're nursing for is a really, really good way, really gentle way. You need to know how long you're nursing for on average, and I would work on doing that for 1 feed at a time. So if you're doing it twice during the night, just work on 1 of them. A lot of time, I mean, cow's milk, honestly, I don't like the taste of it either. It's horrible.
Think the thing about the cow's milk, and I'm specifically answering this question because our next live stream, which is next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving at 9 p.m. Eastern, the entire show is about cow's milk and the lack of need for cow's milk for anyone, including your baby, including yourself, including your children. Cow's milk is not is something that I recommend. And I have Monica Amsterdam, amazing nutritionist, going to be on with us this Wednesday at 9 p.m. for an entire show about all about cow's milk, and we're going to also be talking about gluten, and just have an amazing discussion. She is just filled with information. I mean, she's my nutritionist. She's who I turn to, and I'm so excited to have her back again to discuss this really important topic because it comes up so frequently about my child. How much cow's milk should they be drinking? And the answer is
yeah. Cow's milk is great for cows, for baby cows. It is great for baby cows. Let's not completely dismiss it.
Right. It's so great. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. Yeah. Make sure that you're registered. I'll probably be putting up the promotion for that later on, like during the weekend, and you guys can register for that. But that'll be this Wednesday at 9 p.m. All about cow's milk. All about cow's milk, and how it's really not for human consumption.
And I think it tastes bad.
I think that's what it'll be called. Cow's milk is not
for human consumption. And I live in Seattle, where we will milk anything. You go to the store, there are so many different kinds of milks. There are things you didn't even know could be milked. We will milk it in Seattle, and you can try that.
Every type of vegetable on the planet.
Anything. Things you didn't even know you could milk. You're like, wow, really? That's a lettuce milk? How did they get that?
So great.
They don't really make lettuce milk.
He was kidding. Let's see here. How about a question from Gina? Okay. Gina says, my baby is way too young to be sleeping on her stomach, but she's been rolling over since 3 months old. Is there anything you can do for safe sleeping other than nothing in the crib? It makes me so nervous.
No, if she's rolling onto her tummy, she is completely fine to sleep on her tummy, because you can spend the entire night rolling her back over. If she wants to be comfortable sleeping there, she then is just going to roll back over. You're going to roll her back. She's going to be getting furious with you because she can't get comfortable. You're going to be wide awake because you're constantly rolling her back, and nobody's going to be getting any sleep.
Yep.
So make sure that that space is safe. You just need her to be in the crib with a well-fitted sheet. She can maybe have a sleep sack. She should not be swaddled if she's rolling. Make sure that she's warm enough. And she's fine to sleep on her tummy. If
Yep.
you notice, and one thing that is terrifying for us parents is when their child sleeps with their head right against the mattress. You know, I'm sure you've seen it. They're just laying right face down. You can just turn their head one way. That's completely fine to do that. But as long as the space is completely clear, they're fine.
Yep. Perfect. And that's also where you can just focus on some of the other things that will help to keep your child safe, like not having anything in the crib, using more of a breathable cover, like the one on the Nature Pedic that we're giving away today. There's also Lullaby Earth with the breeze. And what I mean by that is there's more air circulation, so they're not overheating. And that's really important to make sure that they're not overheating and that it's getting the air is circulating around them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of things to focus on. If your child is, like Rebecca said, if your child's rolling over, they can also lift their head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Let's see, where are we? I think we have time for one more question. Before last question, I just want to make sure that everybody knows what the prize is for today and how to enter. First of all, this is the prize from Nature Pedic. Okay, so we are giving away. It's a big prize.
A great prize.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys all want to win this prize. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, it's like the best thing ever. It is I'm going to put it back here, the picture back here again. This is the Nature Pedic ultra breathable 2-stage organic crib mattress. Okay, it is amazing. Every feature that you could possibly want in a crib mattress, and we are going to be giving one away today. Make sure that you're registered. Make sure you're commenting here, that you're loving or liking this post. Tell me what you love about Nature Pedic right here in the live stream, and it will be someone who is here with us live today. We'll be winning. We won't be announcing it right now, but we will be announcing it very shortly, okay? But if you're here and you're commenting, I can see the time codes, okay? So nobody worry. Anyone who's posting here is going to be somebody who actually was here and was and also registered, okay? So don't worry about that. All right, so one more question before we actually begin our weekend, right?
Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah.
Woo-hoo. All right, let's do the last question. The last question, let's see. I'm trying to look for something that we haven't really answered yet. My daughter this came from Megan. And I don't know, I think I saw Megan's name in the chat. But Megan says, my daughter has decided to wake constantly at night for the last 2 weeks, wondering if teething can cause her to not sleep well. I guess why I'm asking is because I've given her Tylenol before bed a couple of nights in a row and it didn't change a thing. She still woke up a lot. Could it be something else?
It could be. It could be the teething. It could be a bazillion different things. And the best way that we can figure out what it is by hindsight, looking back. And that completely does not help you right now. Unless you see teething signs during the day, teething does not just happen at nighttime. Now, It may be bothersome at nighttime. Yes, it certainly can be, but you notice it during the day as well. Yeah. So I would just sort of have a look. Do you see teeth coming through? The only way my kids would ever let me have a look in their mouth was if I had them sat facing me and I'd sort of like throw them back and tickling, and they would just sort of open their mouths and I'm just kind of looking in there to see if I can see any teeth coming through, because they're not going to let you get a finger in there. Yeah. And if you do, they bite it anyway. Not fun. Yeah, it could be teething. It could be a regression. It could be being cold during the night. There are so many things that it could be. I do not ever worry whether I'm working with a family or somebody's asking me a question, unless we get 3 consecutive nights of exactly the same thing happening. That's when we see a new pattern beginning to emerge after that. So if you get 1 night, whatever, 2 nights, okay. When we get a 3rd night, okay, now we're beginning to see a pattern. Normally you'll know whether your child is teething or whether they're unwell. It may be that, yep, you can see, okay, then look at this prime age for going through a regression. Oh, we've just got grandma coming and staying. That's made sleep go really wonky. So it's just kind of, there's no real way to say definitely what's going on, but it would just be, what I often do is looking to see, are we teething? Are we unwell? Is there anything big going on in life? Have we started a preschool? Have we started daycare? Have we moved house? Have we had a new baby? Has grandma come to stay? All of these things are things that we're looking for. Any of those things, any big thing happening in your child's life can cause your child to be sleeping very, very differently. If everything is exactly the same, then oftentimes I'm looking at the daytime. How do we need to change the daytime to be getting better sleep at nighttime? And that's what I do. And you wouldn't oftentimes think, well, if it's now getting night wake-ups, I've got to fix the nighttime. And it's not. It's just some tweaks to the daytime, getting the child a little bit more relaxed.
Absolutely.
Do we need to tweak their naps a little bit? And so all of these things are things that I always do. 9 times out of 10, we can then get back to where we were with our nights by just tweaking our days.
Such a good point. Most people don't think about what's going on during the day impacting them at night. And children, when they get overtired, unlike adults, we crash. They get wired.
Yeah.
Wired, including infants.
Yeah.
They start to secrete cortisol. There's all kinds of things that happen when they're not getting enough sleep. And all those things can really impact their nighttime routines and how they sleep and how well they sleep. And they really need sleep. I mean, let's just end it with saying, babies and children need their sleep. So that doesn't mean that they need it consecutively in hours. They need to sleep well, which is why it's so important to get good advice, to work with the right people like Rebecca, like myself, to understand what you need to do, because sleep is part of good health for all of us, and especially for your children. And so, and the sleep deprivation is cumulative. So it does add up over time. And, there is research to show that it does have an impact on them. So you don't want to just let them go months and months and months without really getting good sleep. It's when their brain develops. It's when they grow.
Yeah.
It's all of it. And I hope I'm saying all this.
Yeah, the growth hormone is secreted when they're sleeping. So children who are chronically sleep deprived do end up shorter than those who aren't. It's just so much. When the children learn something new, if they're sleeping better, then they have a better, they remember it, retain the memory so much easier.
Yep. So, when we talk about, and like we started the show, we talk about the two probably most important things when it comes to your newborn and your baby that you need to focus on is going to be their eating, their feedings, and their sleep. It's the two things that are going to keep them healthy, and the two things you need to really pay attention to in this first year. Make sure you're getting a good advice from the right experts. If you're here with us, we appreciate it, and it is an honor for us to be able to answer your questions and support you through this amazing time in your lives. And at the same time, to bring you products too, like Love to Dream and Naturepedic, and products that are going to support you as the tools to keep your children healthy and get them good sleep. And that's everything.
Yep.
Everything. So Rebecca, thank you so much. I know there were more questions, but we need to go, and we'll come back to these questions on another Q&A. I think we're going to be doing this more frequently together because although we do topic shows all the time, Rebecca and I here, and you guys have watched them, there's times where we just need to answer questions.
Yeah.
And so we'll be doing that. And don't forget, another prize we have tonight is Rebecca's Sleep Academy. She's giving away a 3-month free, 3 free months. I can't say 3 free months of her Sleep Academy. And for everybody else, if you want to join the Sleep Academy, you can go do that, and you get a week's free subscription. You can try it out. And then everybody remember to look out for my announcements. I know I've been saying it, but it is coming very soon. I will have my membership site up too. So it'll be my own academy where we will do all kinds of fun things, as well as access to the entire library, all the shows that we've done over the past year and since 2009. There's 130 episodes for you guys to enjoy and spend a little time watching, you think, right? and all of our Q&As, everything's there, as well as all of my courses. So I will be announcing that really shortly. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Pleasure
to be here, Shari.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Get a little sleep if you can. I know I will if I can. And we'll see you all Wednesday night. Make sure you tune in for our special episode with Monica Amsterdam on cow's milk and gluten. Okay? All right, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.